can't stop thinking about it. I just go over it and over it in my head. But it still doesn't seem real. Papa's dead.
I kept waking up last night, thinking about how I prayed for fate to intervene. Prayed that fate would come up with something to save me from telling Ethan that I'm in love with him, that there was no boyfriend.
Don't do this to yourself, Teresita.
Mama, if only I had known that something fate would come up with was Papa's death.
Teresa, you are not to blame for your father's death.
At least last night convinced me of one thing. That you and Miguel and Luis have been right all along. There's no future for me and Ethan.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
I just hope you really mean it this time.
I do.
Where's Luis?
I don't know. And it worries me that we haven't heard from him.
Last night was tough on all of us, but especially Luis.
He did the right thing in saving Sheridan. But I know that he feels somehow he should have saved his father, too.
Mama.
Luis, thank goodness.
Sorry I didn't call sooner. Hope you didn't worry too much.
Well, as long as you're all right, that's all that matters.
Miguel and Teresa around?
No, just me. They went for a walk.
I'm on my way.
Good.
And then we can discuss the funeral arrangements.
Yes.
I'll see you soon.
Luis, wait. Before we make the arrangements...
Yes?
I was thinking that maybe I should look at the body again.
Take another look at the body? Why?
Because I'm not sure it's your father.
You're not sure, but...
I want to be absolutely sure, Luis.
What are you saying? You're not sure that the man who died was my father? I just don't know why you'd want to look at the body again. Haven't you been through enough?
I told you I want to be certain it's your father.
I thought we settled this last night. When I was on the roof with Martin, he called himself my father.
I know.
When we went through his wallet, his identification said he was Martin Fitzgerald. It appears as though he's been using that name for years.
I don't care what the man said or what his ID said. His actions were not the actions of the man I married.
But the way he looked.
Well, he may have looked like the man I married, but with his beard and his injuries, I have to be certain, Luis. Before we bury him, I want one last look, please. For my sake. For all our sakes.
Mama, why are you doing this? I mean, why do you think that the man who fell through the skylight might not be my father?
I just know. I haven't said a word to Miguel or Teresa yet. But trust me, in my heart, I know.
You know, maybe you should just let it go.
I can't, Neil.
But it doesn't seem right.
This man that fell from the skylight, he may have looked like your father, but my heart tells me different. I know this man, Luis. I shared his bed for many years. I bore his children. He was not a violent man. He was a God-fearing man. Lying was like a sin to him, and it's impossible for me to imagine him holding a gun on Sheridan, of all people, threatening her life. I have to look at the body, Luis.
But you looked at the body. How will looking at it again help you change your mind?
Your father had a small scar behind his ear. I doubt anyone ever noticed it.
What?
You never saw it, but it was there. I can assure you of that. If this man has the scar, then he's my husband. But if he doesn't, Luis, then everything that's happened, everything we've been told, is nothing but a lie.
Don't do this, Mama. Please.
I must. I will not rest until I know for certain whether or not this man is Martin.
I just don't want to see you go through this.
I can handle it, Luis. I must.
All right. If I can't convince you otherwise, I'll call the morgue.
Thank you.
We'll set it up so you can see the body. But don't get your hopes up. Even though I think that Julian Crane is involved, everything still points to this man being Papa.
Perhaps.
Damn. Should have questioned Julian when I was there this morning.
You were at the Crane estate?
Sheridan's cottage. I slept on her couch.
You what?
It's a long story. You know, after everything, I was hungry, I was exhausted. I wasn't myself, and Sheridan was generous enough to take me in and help me out.
She's the most caring of all the Cranes. Sheridan and Ethan.
Yeah. But if it turns out that this man isn't my father, then I was right all along not to trust the Cranes.
Luis, por favor, do not start fighting with the Cranes again.
No. Whatever happens, happens. And the truth has to come out.
Is there anything more that we can do for you?
Thank you for asking, but the only one who can do anything for me right now is lying in the morgue.
I couldn't help but overhear your phone call at my place earlier. Are you really going to...
My mother wants to look at my father's body one more time.
To make sure it's Martin.
You sure you should do that?
Positive.
Well, my father said it was definitely Mr. Fitzgerald.
Well, my mother isn't sure that the man is my father. So we're going to the morgue to look at him again.
The real Martin Fitzgerald had a small scar behind his ear. I doubt anybody in the world knew about it but me.
I'm gonna call the morgue. Let him know we're coming.
I think I'm gonna step outside, get some air.
What? What do you mean the body's been released to a mortician for cremation?
Cremation?
Mama, did you authorize it?
Of course not.
Listen, there's been a terrible mistake. Our family never authorized a cremation. Say that again. How can that be?
Luis, what is it?
The body's gone.